Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
As you guys know, we've been keeping it real from the very beginning. With our Hijrah journey, we know a lot of people online are kind of selling this like Medina dream where, you move here, you see all the pretty cafes and the nice drinks and, aesthetic photos of the haram and things like that. And so it may be a little bit misleading to those who want to move to Medina but don't really know much about it. And while we know that living here is such a big blessing, and I feel like we don't need to really say that it's implied that living in Medina is a beautiful blessing, but also talking about the realities of moving, I think, is very, very important. It's not about we're complaining about Medina, we're not grateful to live here. No, in fact, I love living here, but we also don't feel good about, making it seem kind of like a fairy tale to people. Oh, look, come here and all your life's worries are gonna disappear and you're just gonna find everything so easy. But subhanAllah, it comes with its challenges. And today in this video, we're gonna be talking about some of the expectations that people have versus the reality of actually living here.
All right, so one of the things is when people come here and they move to Medina, especially from the West, like Western countries, Europe, Canada, US, they expect everything to be so simple. We're used in the States, we're used to getting things done instantly. We go, we get something done, that's it.
And it's organized, right?
Yeah,
it's I have an appointment here, that's when I go and I get my appointment.
Exactly, step 1, step 2, step 3, you're done. But here it's sometimes it takes you so long to get one thing done. For example, you try to open a bank account. The other day I went to Rajah and I was like, hey, I want to open a bank account. Well, you can't do it here. You have to go online. So then I go online and then I try to do it. There's an error. So then I'm like, okay, then now I have to go back to the bank. How many days have I wasted trying to open a bank account?
Yeah.
And another one is driving, getting from point A to point B. Sometimes major roads are closed and you have to start making these, going through neighborhoods, small alleys, and U-turning a bunch of times to get somewhere. It's really frustrating. For example, when you're driving, you see the place right next to you, right? It's right across the street, but the GPS says 6 minutes away. I'm like, how is that even possible?
Just park and cross the road because we're not driving another half an hour.
Yeah, and then you realize that you have to go through, you have to drive all the way down the road, then you have to make a U-turn, then you have to go through an alley, then you have to make another U-turn, and then you'll finally make it to that place that you were at.
I think people that live here and people that visited and went outside of the Masjid Nabawi, you guys know what we're talking about. We're not exaggerating when we say you see a place across the street, but there's no way to get to it until you do a million, it's literally a maze. When they close a major road, that makes it even harder.
And for example, today we had a road that was closed, a major road, and then we had to go through a neighborhood and go around the neighborhood and then get out on the main road and make a bunch of U-turns.
It was literally like a maze.
I feel like I was driving in a maze.
Yeah, and it's a major road, and the Google Maps still doesn't realize it's closed.
Still doesn't realize it. It's been closed for 3 weeks?
No,
almost a month.
It's been over a month. Easily a month and a half.
And Google Map has not been updated.
Yeah.
That is a concern.
So it can be very frustrating, subhanAllah. You need a lot of patience to be here.
A lot of patience. So my advice is if you want to get somewhere, put at least 10 to 15 minutes extra time to get there.
So another expectation versus reality with moving to Medina is parenting, right? So people come here thinking I'm going to put my kids in hifz school. They're going to they're going to be there and they're going to attend and everything's going to be fine, and they're going to learn so much Quran and they're going to be, but in reality they're still kids, right? So you still have to deal with the tantrums, the whining, the crying, that they don't want to go, they don't want to do certain things. And so it still takes a lot of patience to be a parent here. And I just feel it's you have to set your standards realistically in terms of parenting, right? So there's still all the hardships of parenting. It's universal. Medina's not going to just fix all the parenting issues. Your kids are not just going to become these perfect kids that listen and obey and birrul walidain and all those things. You still have to actively parent and teach your kids. And so that's just kind of one of those things that I feel needs to be talked about more, because people come here expecting to have this
all this big change.
Yeah.
All right, and then another reality here living in Medina is living living in Medina long term. A lot of people expect to just pack their bags and move to Medina and just permanently live here. There aren't many visas that allow you to do that, especially if you're if you're like from non-Western countries, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
Western countries, they do have like the 6 year, the 10-year visa for the US, and then you have like the for the e-waiver for the people from the UK.
Yeah, which is like 6 month at a time stays.
Right. And then you can, yes, you can do your runs and then, renew that. But the idea of living long term and permanently is not guaranteed. So yeah, like the people that end up like sticking around for a really long time are like the ones I know are students. You know, they go through their bachelor's, their master's, their PhD, and then like some breaks in between. So it takes them like over 15, 16, 17 years living in Medina, but eventually they all leave.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they want to go back and give dawah, but like in general, like the people that stick around, I don't even know, like I barely know anyone that stuck around
Yeah, from your days,
from
right?
my days. Yeah, they're mostly like students, and then maybe like one or two that are not. So yeah, it's not easy to just like pack your bags and move here and live and think that you're just gonna live permanently. But I mean, things have changed. We've seen a lot of change. Visitors are now allowed to open bank accounts, and who knows what in the future.
Investing
And
now,
investing, buying properties. The expat community here is changing. It's growing so much, and for the first time, we've seen a lot of change, and so much growth in a short period of time. So. Things are changing, and we're not trying to discourage people from moving to Medina at all.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
You can
not.
do it like even like after everything we've said. If you can come to Medina short term, long term, just kind of like having a backup plan if things don't work out is a good idea. We don't want people to just like move here because they see online that everybody is moving to Medina, that it's become a trend, that we're seeing all these aesthetic like accounts and things like that. It can be very misguiding. So, I mean, we want people to move here. We encourage everybody, if you can move and make hijrah to Medina, do it. Just have a realistic expectation of it, and don't let social media make the decision for you. Medina is a beautiful, blessed place. You will get rewarded for all your struggles, all your patience, everything you go through. It's 100% worth it. I would say everything we've been through, like it has not been easy at all,
Right.
even for us. And so those struggles, like if I were to do it again, I would do it again.
Yeah.
Because it's Medina, and it's the only place that's like really worth all these struggles.
Right. And another important thing is like taking your means, right? Like you
Yes.
need a source of income. You need to make
Yes.
sure that, this source of income is going to allow you to live here and with your family comfortably. You don't want to come here and start struggling, or come here without a job and then, get stuck in a situation where you
Yeah.
might have to end up leaving, or, because trying to get a job here is not that easy, especially on a visitor visa. So
I mean, you can't work here on a visitor visa, right?
it's not allowed.
I don't know if a lot of people know this, but like while you're here as a visitor, you can actively look for jobs in person and like take
Yeah.
interviews and stuff. But if you get hired, like you'd have to leave the country and then come back on that like visitor or on the work visa,
Right.
which would give you like iqama.
Right.
So that's different. So you can't work on a visitor visa, but you can look for jobs on a visitor
Right.
visa.
Or opening your own business, that one too.
Yeah, you can. Yep,
You
and
can get you sponsor your own self,
yeah.
just like I explained in that previous video.
Like that new business, right, where it gives you iqama and your family. So of course, like leaving things for the sake of Allah, Allah will always like grant you better. But again, always having a plan, like you said, taking the means. Try to figure out if you can do an online job or something like that beforehand helps. We're not encouraging people to just quit their whole life and then move to Medina and then like figure it out, saying like, okay, I have tawakkul and Allah's going to provide. Of course, Allah's going to provide, and of course, we all have tawakkul. But what's like, one of the things that you do is like take your asbab, take your means, look for jobs, plan something beforehand, and then that's when you have tawakkul, right?
All right, we hope you guys benefited from this video, and this is not in any way trying to discourage people from making hijrah or moving to Medina. These are just realistic things that we've mentioned, just to give you a realistic expectation of what it feels like living in Medina, and not the glamorized Medina stuff that you see online on social media. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.